What's up, everybody? I'm Kev Jones. If you are on this channel, uh, I hope you've watched some of my videos with me and my wife. You know, we do our videos. We haven't been doing them for a while. I've just been so busy. So many things have been going on. But I am active in the lab all of the time. Something you may not know about me, I make tracks. I've been making beats for 30 plus years. I have a home recording studio that I do video, I do audio, I do a ton of things. Um, and it is just kind of like my passion. It is what I do to stay sane, especially in these crazy times that we got going on now. So, this is live. I don't expect many people to get on. I don't have the millions of followers, but if you can subscribe, help the cause. I am really trying to up my subscribers. So like the video, subscribe, and I hope I help someone here. The reason I'm making this video is because someone asked me, they said, man, after 30 years, in the studio, what keeps you motivated? And the real answer is I do it for relaxation. I do it for um, myself, something just to keep me going. And I'm getting older. I mean, I'm close to 50, I'm old, right? But it's just something that I wanted to do and stay focused, in this industry. And I really love music. I love making music. But that's not actually the whole answer. On top of that, what really keeps me focused and what I told somebody is uh, I love shopping and finding tools that make things better and make things easier. See, back in the day, all I had was a keyboard, some turntables, a cheesy sampler that only allowed you at most 4 to 8 different little sample sounds. If you were sampling for more than a couple of seconds, you were big time, and I wasn't big time, right? So the game has changed a lot, and I like seeing how the world of technology along with the game has changed. So I'm gonna give you 3 tools that you need to be a good hip hop producer and stay up to date and everything. Number one, you need time. Producing tracks is all about time. You create a beat, come back to that beat, may modify that beat, but to create that beat, number two, you need sounds, you need resources, you need tools that will make your job not only easier, but will make your job fun. See, the creative mind needs to be entertained. And I really believe that certain tools allow people to entertain in a way other tools don't. Some people are just outright creative. They can do anything with anything. I'm not that guy. So I always needed things that inspired me. So I would always seek out tools to change my game, make my game different. Notice I didn't say better, different. Because sometimes your game and um, your game, should I say, but your ideas come from weird places. And mine have always come from strange places. So it hasn't been that. And sorry about this cheer I'm in, but my stuff has always been kind of, ooh, what makes me want to get into the groove? So one, find the time. Two, find the tools and resources that keep you going. And I'll say this to anybody that may watch this one day who doesn't have equipment, and I'll show you what I'm working with, who may not have the equipment. Finding tools and resources sometimes means finding free tools and resources. I've heard amazing tracks put together with less than $200 of equipment. And when I say amazing, I'm not talking about to my ears. I'm talking about to most people's ears. Stuff that has made it to the radio from a pre-production perspective. They put a whole song together, and it was finalized in a bigger studio, of course, but the idea and the track itself was designed in a sub $200 studio. So keep in mind, it's not always about that money that you're spending. But here's the thing, in this day and age, you can get professional sounds from anywhere. I mean, so people who may have $2, $3, $4, $5,000 interfaces and $100,000 studio put free sounds together a lot of times for people who only have a $50, $100 studio. And those sounds are the exact same sounds. And once they're in the digital world, but you don't know where that sound came from or how it's being used. It's up to you to be creative and make that sound into your own personal masterpiece. So keep that in mind. Find the right resources, the right tools, and that may mean sometimes finding free tools, but it doesn't mean that you should cheap out on the quality of the tools, because there are some amazing resources and tools that are out there at the professional level that you can get for free. But it's just up to you to be creative, spend time, and do your due diligence to make sure you get the right stuff. And then the final thing, number three, is once you have the time, the tools, all the resources that you need to make the track, come up with a process. Even the free DAWs allow you to download a template or create a template. Logic, Fruity Loops, Pro Tools, they all have templates built in if you're making hip hop, rock, all different types of music, because having a process and a workflow allows you to duplicate your efforts a lot easier. It's no mistake that producers like Timberland and all of those people, you could tell their music once it hits, because their process is the same. And sometimes some of their sounds are the same. They know what's hot and they know what's not. And if you build a process and a method to your madness, once you get a hit out of your method, you can duplicate that hit. So keep in mind, find the time, find the tools and resources to take you to the next level. And then three, create a process, a workflow that allows you to duplicate your success. So quick, show you what I've been working with. In mind my junk, I must spin my little camera around. Hopefully that helps you out. So today we're gonna look at Logic here. I'll show you what I'm doing. I was working on a little thing just to let you know what I am using in my lab, so people don't say, well, he has $8 million worth of equipment. Well, while I do have decent equipment, it's not all big boy. I use a cheesy little Casio keyboard. It's one of their better ones, but nice. On top, it's a Focusrite iTrack Pocket that I usually work with for doing creations. I have MPC Studio back there. One set of monitors is a JBL. Use my Universal Audio. I have an old Korg Microcontrol 2012. I have a modded GAP Pre 73 Junior with a Carn Hill, modifier, which makes it more like the 1073. Have some cheesy headphone thing. Use a big knob, and I have me a Behringer mixer behind my Pringles can. The reason I have the big knob is because I also have some of these KRK6 Ferraris. I also have my DJing equipment, my Pioneer DDJ 1000 SRTs into another MacBook controller. I got a ton of little mics. Got a Blue. I got a Neumann. A few other mics up on my wall. I'll just show you. But with all that said, most of that stuff doesn't matter. It's really what I'm using that's in this system, and that's kind of what I wanted to show you. This is a little song that I've done, and I'll just give y'all a feel of what I use to kind of come up with my ideas. Hopefully I can zoom in and everything is working. If it's not working, well, we'll see how that goes. Okay, so this track here, I'm using Arcade, which is by Output. I am a big fan of that, but let me just show you what I have in my library of instruments. I have, of course, MPC Studio, if you can see that. Let me see if I can zoom in a little bit closer for you guys. Hopefully this works. Okay. I have MPC Studio. I have, the basic Apple synths that they provide. I have BKE's Beat Things, BTV or BTV Solo, one of the hottest beat makers you can get under $20. I must say, grab it up if you don't have it. I have a KV331 Audio, which is a free SynthMaster 2.9 player. It is definitely a hot synth for free. Grab it. I have my mixed in. Oh, I jumped over Beat Skills at the top. Beat drums, BF drums is a free drum machine. If you need something free, it works. I use it when I'm just trying to drum out a beat, but it works. I have Mixed in Key, and I have that package with beat, chords, deep, melody, and play. So really, I have everything. I got a great deal on it. I think $80 for all of these. And I like chords, and I'll talk about them. Then I have Outputs Arcade, which you see on this track. Then I also have Scalar, which is another chord software. And then I have Serato Sampler. Serato Sampler is the hottest sampler that you can get because it allows you to drop any song in from my DJ side and cut that whole thing up. I cut it up, y'all. When I tell you I cut it up, I cut it up. So I'll show you all of that in progress and what I did here to make this track. Like I said, this track I'm showing probably is not my greatest work, but it'll give you an understanding of how I make a song in my process. So the first thing on my song I come up is usually my chords because I want to get a feel for what I'm doing. So in this track, I came in and I started playing these chords. Right? A nice sound, and it's just a few chords back to back. And I played these all the way through. And this is the premise of my song. This is everything my song is built around. So I said, okay, but I need this to drop into a hook or drop out of a hook into the actual verse. Listen. So all I did was chopped up that same set of chords. Let me change this here. Bring this back for a second. So that's what you have. So I started with this. And immediately when I do something like this, I put a bass line with it. And bass lines are not really hot these days, but I use bass lines because I'm old school, because I think they can actually add for fills, takeouts, and so forth. So I added these. And it made it a little bit darker. So I said, let's take this even darker. And if you notice my bass line, I'm using the trap bass that's built into Logic. So this is free with Logic, right? So then I go straight into, once again, something that was built into Logic also, the dripping cycles. And I put a little effects on it, but if you listen, and it's just to fill up that sound, fill it up, right? So, and I'm a person that waits last to put a beat on a song because I want my beat to change my song, make it hot, even if it's not. So my process is I go to a beat last in most cases. So then I put another sound on. It goes like this. And while it sounds like it's nothing, it's all building on this one sound. So once I had this, that's when I said, okay, let me add a beat. And I built this using the built-in beat machine on Logic. And I used the little trapdoor Dez, and I did my own little play around with it, and it went, Hey, hey, hey. Come on. And that's the track right there. Be honest, that's how the track goes. a hot banger, hot banger. And then what I did to make it a little bit tighter in the hook, I add some vocals. And then I take all of those sounds and I drop them into what becomes a verse for hip hop. So here's how the verse plays out. So now as a rapper, I'm rapping over this, giving you a thing. There's one more tool I added to make this verse stronger. I put some synth in. You can barely hear it, but it's a synth bass going bounce, 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 bounce. And it's there just to feel and give somebody the flow. And as that builds, I add some hi-hats to build it up a little bit. And let me show you what that sounds like by itself. And these are 3 different hi-hats that I grouped together and created a single region so I can duplicate it. And it's nothing by itself. Remember, put everything together. In time, things make sense. So when you think the beat, see that? Hi-hats didn't do nothing, but now, listen. Just there to accent that beat that we already had. And it built flows. And when we drop in everything else, and you finally go back to a strong hook and everything ties into the build up at the end. That's right. And I make a track out of this all. And you see what the whole track sounds like. And my last step is to arrange the track. I arrange it accordingly. And I also throw a tag on to all of my songs. I have a terrible tag, but it's my song, so I throw it on. And this is how it sounds. Hope you liked it. Remember, find time to do it. And then build your resources. If you have any questions about any of the tools that I use, let me know. I didn't go into detail, but I'm open to answer any questions that you have. And then finally, come up with a process to making your tracks. And once you've done that,